welcome back to TBRvatar. Can you believe it's actually been so long since the last time I played? Because I believe the last time we played was for June. However, I will say that I have really spectacularly failed to follow my October TBR. I was slumping massively. I talk a little bit more about this in the previous vlog, so if you missed that and you're wondering what happened, it's in that vlog recap thing. It's in the last video, basically. But I was actually very excited about a lot of the books that were in my original TBR. So if the TBRvatar will allow, I'll definitely try and put some of the previous TBR into this month. But then if TBRvatar decides that that's not the case, then that's not the case. I just feel like the universe does not want me to try Junji Ito. That's my main thing that I kind of want to squeeze into this. I'm going to try and pick some books that hopefully will aid me getting out of a slump. Hi, if you're new also, if you don't know what TBRvatar is, it's a TBR board game I created inspired by Avatar: The Last Airbender, which I am a big fan of. There's a playlist of it down below, and you can download the digital board if you want to play along. Thankfully, we can be a little bit cheeky here, because even though I have truly spectacularly failed the October TBR, it doesn't really matter because the last TBR that I set with the TBRvatar was the June one, and I actually did so well for that particular TBR. Took a little photo to remember what it was, but I read Amina, so tick. I did not read the really good actually book, which is fine because I read the remaining ones. So The Hating Game, The 5 Survive, and Alone With You in the Ether, I have read all of those. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I read 4 out of 5, which is amazing, which does mean that I start 3 steps ahead where I am on the board. So I need to remember when I actually get down with it. I have my cards that I've been putting in this really fancy holder. It's not meant for the cards, obviously, but I have my cards ready. I have my board on the floor, and I'm excited to see what this round brings for me. I also wanted to mention that I am currently deep into the planning of our Lightfall readathon, so I wanted to quickly mention that I do plan on revisiting Lightfall and plan on going back to the old favor pass with a new location in mind as well, which I hope you will enjoy as well. I didn't necessarily plan for this to be a reoccurring yearly thing. However, you seem to have fun. I seem to have fun. I sought out some counsel from my lovely Moonies, and they also said that we should do it. So we're doing it. I did decide on this a bit late, so it means quite a bit of a crunch when it comes to prep, but it's all hopefully happening, and it will be announced sometime in November, and it will be happening in December. Similar-ish time like last time. So I hope that that's good news, and I hope you will be excited for it. I am. It's a very silly little shopping adventure, so, you know, low stakes, we like that. And I'm working on some commissions for that as well, which brings me to the ad break, because that is what allows me to hopefully do those in the future. So I'm really thankful to be working with Book of the Month again. They are a book subscription service that operate in the US, and they also ship to Canada. Book of the Month work really hard to curate a new list every month of 5 to 7 new and upcoming author titles for you to pick one off, and for that to be shipped right to your door in a hardcover, or also you have some options for an audiobook now on their app, which for me as an audiobook lover is a very exciting feature. They have a handy skip policy, so if you want to skip a month, you can easily do so as well. But I do think it really cuts down on your research time, and you can find some titles you might have not seen otherwise, and also experience genres you maybe don't read as often. And you can also choose to add another book on top of this, and the shipping is free, so you save on that. So from the November selection, I have picked an Again and Again, which sounds extremely up my alley, and you will know why. First of all, it has the main character who is an elderly man. Actually, he claims to be 1,000 years old and has lived quite a string of lives, and is in pursuit of his like eternally lost love, or just maybe eternal love. I think we don't quite know what is true and what is not. But as the people around him learn that, so do we as readers, and I'm very, very excited because this possibly could be like made special for me. And then as an add-on, I thought I would grab a romance by Ali Hazelwood. It's called Checkmate, and I always like having some selected romance books on hand in case I do want to deviate from my usual genres. So this is gonna be perfect for that. If you would like to give Book of the Month a go, you can use the code GOBBLE to get your first hardcover book for $9.99. The link is down in the description bar. Please check them out. And a massive thank you to Book of the Month for working with me and supporting this channel. That being said, shall we get down to the floor? I still can't find my actual figurines, but I have found Logan's, so we actually at least are using a figurine. So 3 steps forward, and let's do the first spin. So I'm here, so 1, 2, 3. Okay. I'm just gonna move this so I can spin it easier. That's a 7. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh, secret tunnel. Sing it with me. Secret tunnel. Which does just mean the cards. So, right. Let's just pick the first one. Oh, that one's bent. Oh no. Badger Mole. Oh, that's very fitting for a secret tunnel. Read a hardcover book. Oh, that's easy. That's an easy prompt. Oh, that's way too open. I was really hoping for more guidance today with my indecision. I need to actually like keep track of this in some journal or something, but I would get an extra, an extra redraw of the cards if this would be a Earth book, which means a contemporary. So a contemporary hardback. Let me check what we had in the previous TBR. Would Uzumaki be a contemporary? I know it's like a spiral, get it, into madness, like a descent into madness, but I don't actually know if there's fantasy elements in it or not. But that would be the only thing I think that could possibly fit. I'm gonna ask quickly. I want to say that it could be. It's hard because when I Google it just says one of the greatest contemporary artists. It's under both fiction and fantasy, so probably not. Okay, so we're just gonna assume no on that one. In which case, I'd be almost tempted putting this in, but again, I don't know if this is a fantasy or contemporary because it's specifically left unknown by the synopsis. Like, that's one of the big things. And our book club read this month is actually a paperback, so this should be such a simple and easy prompt, and yet I actually do not have a lot of contemporaries in hardback. Ooh, I know! Wait, I have another book by the author that I've read like 3 books of, and I do actually have them in hardback. So another one that I still haven't read is also The No-Show, but I think I like the synopsis of this one better. And I always found them to be quite like easy for my brain and just refreshingly like covering topics that are interesting and are sad and are deep to an extent, but doing that in a very ease of reading way, if that makes sense. So it's I always found that to be such a nice experience reading this author, even when I wasn't the biggest fan of some of the books. But this one actually seems to be playing off the trope of enemies or rivals to lovers, which I don't think that I have seen this author do before. Obviously it is a very beloved trope. I'm not opposed to it. It's not something that I necessarily would like seek out, but I'm not opposed to it, and I don't really see that happen very often in a contemporary setting because like who has enemies? Who's out there just having casual enemies? And The Hating Game absolutely flopped in that area for me personally, but that was a whole different rant and you can find it in this video. They are both set in a hotel that is literally falling apart, and they're trying, I think, to find a way of saving them. That I know there's like lost like engagement or wedding rings. I'm not sure how that plays into it, but I guess we'll find out if I don't fail this month as badly. Oh my god, what happened on the back of this? I have like a massive slash. Not that it really matters. It's fine. Oh, and this is yellow underneath. Was not expecting. So that's actually quite exciting because I think that this is one of those that I can definitely, if I can find an audiobook for this, I can definitely do this while I'm crocheting or something, you know, like it's one of those that I can do whilst doing other things and still actually follow the plot. So I'm very excited to have that as an option for this month. So that is, oh, let me just pop that in here because I will forget. And this actually does give me an extra redraw, which is fabulous. Okay, on to number 2. That is a 3. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Oh, we got Pebble Attack. Oh, you can't see. Pebble Attack. Which I am fairly certain is a short book, but I need to just check exactly how short of a book. Well, I have checked and it's under 200 pages, so we always have this from the previous TBR, but I actually don't know if I feel like it anymore at the moment, so, ooh, wait, my, nah, that's gonna be over. Book club read, but it is short, but it's not gonna be that short. It's actually not that short in general. Yeah, it's like 350 or something. Oh, okay. So, you know what? We're gonna do a comic, I think. Is what I think. Okay, I'm thinking Rat Queens. I just need to check which one was the last one that I read. I don't think I've read this one, so it might be that I'm on volume 6. It doesn't say how many pages there are, so I'm just gonna quickly check. Aha! It is actually under 200 pages. It's 144 pages, so that's fantastic. If you don't know what Rat Queens is, it's a very D&D adjacent story of a party going on adventures, and they're all just quite silly, goofy, and with also their, you know, deep-rooted issues. Art has changed, which I don't know if it is for the best, in my opinion. However, I do think that it is Oh, that's not gonna get monetized. It's just, in general, just a very fun time. And it's been a very long time since I've read an issue or a volume for them. I've fallen out of love a little bit with it, but maybe this is gonna be a good time to get back to it. So I'm happy to have that in the TBR as well. And it also gives me a different option for, you know, something visual to do as well. Okay, number 3. So we're in the very corner there. What's that? 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But my number, but minus 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just an empty one. Which just means another card from the deck. You pick it. Ooh, Cactus Juice. Read a book by a new to you author and no genre prompt. So, oh, but I can't fit my book club read because it's by an author that I have read before. Unfortunate. And actually all of the books so far are by authors that I have read. Rare. Wait. Junji Ito. I feel like if I don't read it this month though, it's gonna be actually ridiculous because it would be so many times that it was in my TBR and was not read, and at that point should I just give up? But let's put it in there one more time and hope for the best. Let's do this brick. Oh, that's disturbing. That's a disturbing picture. Again, I believe it's like a descent into madness and the person just keeps seeing spirals everywhere and it becomes like a thing. And I know it's supposed to be quite disturbing, so quite excited for that. If I ever get to it. It's honestly embarrassing at this point. Anyway, but we already have 3 and we only have 2 left, so 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's fairly uneventful. We keep landing on the blank spaces, but that's fine with me, to be honest. Do one more. Oh, that's a long text. Ooh, okay. Read a book that includes a topic of mental health, no genre prompt, and it's called The Desert. I'm not 1000% sure on this one, but I do think that Station 11, like, you must deal with mental health if we're going by, like, in some capacity. It's not necessarily maybe the main topic, but in some capacity, I'm sure. because Sea of Tranquility also did, and also because I do know that there's a big focus on a pandemic, even though this was written pre-COVID. So that's gonna be very interesting to explore. But I am going to pop this in here because it is my book club read, and that's at least one that I'm guaranteed to read because I always do. And I'm actually very excited because I loved Sea of Tranquility, which a lot of you probably know. And I know this is like the book that I think the author maybe got known for. And another amazing thing is that it has an adaptation, and I love reading a book and then going in to watch an adaptation. It's just like it's not a guilty pleasure because there's nothing to be guilty for, but it's just very satisfying to me to be able to do that. So I'm gonna read to you what it says on the back because I never can properly grasp what this is about. But one snowy night in Toronto, famous actor Arthur Lander dies on stage whilst performing the role of a lifetime. That same evening, a deadly virus touches down in North America. The world will never be the same again. 20 years later, Kirsten, an actress in the Traveling Symphony, performs Shakespeare in the settlement that have grown up since the collapse. But then her newly hopeful world is threatened. If civilization was lost, what would you preserve and how far would you go to protect it? It's fairly vague, hence why I always struggle. Maybe I'll do a better job explaining it after I read it, but I am utterly excited because this is like a speculative sci-fi, which obviously is my very, very go-to, so very excited. This is turning up to be like an extremely good TBR for my taste, although I did say the same thing about October and then completely flopped, but it happens. What can I say? Okay, the last one hopefully doesn't put anything silly goofy into this that just completely throws it off. All right. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is a bending scroll? Oh! Get to treat yourself and buy a book from your wish list and read it. Replace if you don't want to buy it with a library or a different poem altogether. However, I do want to buy it. And I even know which one because I had this open recently. I will say I do not know an overwhelming amount about this book, but it is by the author who wrote Last Housewife, which I loved, and also Dreams That Hold a Knife, which I liked. So I'm very excited for this one. It's called Midnight is the Darkest Hour. Have I already said that? It's currently slightly sold out when I'm looking for it, but I will find it and I will get it and we will read it. I think this one actually is slightly fantasy because it mentions vampires. It's gonna be new for me from this author. Very excited, and that also wraps it up really nicely for me. We'll have our full set, which I'm actually so pumped for, but I'm so hesitant to just be like, yay, I'll do this, because after October I just, like, my faith in my reading is like not at an all-time high. However, I will do my best because it's a TBRvatar round as well, and hopefully this is gonna be a success. So we have that and this, which is pretty achievable, she says, in massive doubt. But let me know if you have read any of the books on this TBR yet again. And actually didn't end up having many repeats at all. It's just this. We only carried one, which is fine. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day or evening, and I will see you hopefully soon with another video, and if not that soon, then definitely with the announcement at some point in November. Yeah, have a fabulous one and I'll see you soon. Bye.